Hello there, world of tankers, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, the Droodles Blitz, and in today's video, I'll be reviewing the American Tier 9 Collector Heavy Tank, the TL-7 120. A very similar profile and definitely playstyle to a tank like the M103. In today's video, not only will you watch me spend my gold on this vehicle that I earned in the Luxury Lounge event, but you're also going to watch the armor profile of the tank, some pretty good gameplay, hopefully, and my overall review of this vehicle. So let's start off with the gambling process. I'm not sure how many charms I need to get this vehicle guaranteed. 30. Okay, well 16,000 gold gets me, oh boy, not many crates. I can get a 2,000 gold crate, 8,000 gold. Oh, there's a lot. I'm thinking I'm going to start off with the 4,000 gold one. That one looks like a decent bundle. You never know. Starting off cheap is not a terrible idea, especially if I get it on like the first or second crate. Well, there's our first crate, there's our second, and there's our third. Well, we can't do the 4,000 anymore, so I guess we're going straight to the 16,000. Here we go. 750 gold. I'll have to add up how much gold we make back after this, but there you go. Okay, so not terrible luck. I will take getting the vehicle on my first couple of crates. Ooh, I got 100 gold from that one. Not bad, actually. Ooh, I got 6,000 gold. Oh, no, don't just tell me I purchased another. No, no. Oh, okay, we're good. We're good. I thought I just purchased another one, but it actually looks like we're good. We're good. Okay. We're also obviously going to purchase myself that legendary camo. I'm not a huge fan of the legendary camo, I'll be completely honest. It's definitely a weird one, but I'm still going to purchase it because why not? But I do feel like this camo would look just as good on the vehicle, and honestly, it definitely does. With the gold I made in the crates, it cost me about 12,000 gold to get my hands on the TL-7, and then it cost me about 3,500 gold for the camo, so in total it cost me 15,000 gold to get the camo and the vehicle in my garage. That is not nearly as much as I was expecting it to cost me, because usually with my crate luck I need to open all of the crates to get my hands on the charms to get the vehicle, which is 30 charms in total. Now, to be honest, if you did want to get this vehicle guaranteed, it's going to cost you about 40,000 gold from start to finish. And if you get, let's say, about 10,000 of that gold back, it's probably about 30,000 gold. That's actually not the worst thing ever, especially judging that if you do manage to get gold while it's on sale, you can get about 30,000 gold for 50 bucks. So, is this tier 9 worth $50 if you manage your gold correctly? Well, that's what we're going to find out in today's video. Alright, I just took a few moments to fully equip my TL-7. We've got the consumables finished off. We've got my provisions done because I'm an American and I got my cases of cola. We got my ammunition and finally my equipment all finished off, running Cali as usual. This thing doesn't have as much penetration as a vehicle like the M103, but it still does feature a pretty solid 363 millimeters with Cali, which is actually more than the average tier 10 heavy, so not too bad at all. I'm obviously running hit points on this vehicle to get a little bit more out that I possibly can. We're running engine accelerator. This thing actually has a really solid power to weight of 17.3, so I guess we're going to find out how its mobility is. Let's take a quick look at the statistics of this vehicle, and then we'll take a look at the armor, and finish off with some gameplay. So, top speed is 36, which is not too bad. As I said, the power to weight seems fine, although that reverse speed is terrible. 10 kilometers per hour in reverse is just awful. And I'm pretty sure when I saw this tank's original stats, I commented that Wargaming should not be giving newer heavy tanks awful reverse speed. It just doesn't make sense in 2023 to have reverse speed similar to American heavies back in game day release. But it looks like they're still giving them awful reverse. That's gonna suck. That means if you put yourself in any position that is too aggressive, you are not going to be able to get out of that spot, so keep that in mind if you end up picking this vehicle up. When it comes to the gun, it's got 2,367 DPM, which is pretty solid. It's pretty similar to the M103 it looks like on DPM. Dispersion's okay, and aiming time seems a bit mediocre. We'll find out how that actually is on the battlefield. It's really all dependent on its on-movement dispersion values. It's got decent average damage at 400, which means you'll be able to pepper your opponents if they've got higher alpha, and 7 degrees of gun depression is mediocre. It's not the M103's 8, which I think the M103 carries. If it's not 8, it's 10 degrees, but I'm pretty sure it's 8, yeah. So the M103 in comparison has the same DPM gem. It's got slightly worse dispersion and the same aiming time. The difference is that the M103 not only has better penetration, but it does have more gun depression, and even the M103 reverse is faster at 12, and that's not saying a lot, but it still says just how slow this vehicle's reverse speed is. To finish off, let's take a look at the armor profile, which it's an interesting one. So the upper plate is actually incredibly thick on this vehicle, like 300 thick. That means if you're in an M103 loading heat, even with Cali on, you can see that just using a couple degrees of gun depression, the upper plate on this tank actually becomes incredibly thick. In fact, I might be willing to run enhanced armor on this vehicle. In fact, yeah, I'm going to actually probably put on enhanced armor just because of how dang strong that upper plate is. Look at that. That's impressive. So the upper plate on this tank is actually very, very troll. And a lot of players that do not understand the armor profile of this tank are going to shoot at that upper plate and end up bouncing it. When it comes to the lower plate, though, absolutely terrible. You'll easily penetrate that all days of the week. So if you do want to pen the tank, shoot it in the lower plate. As well, turret cheeks do have some weak spots, as we can see. If it's hull down, you can just shoot right underneath the turret quite easily to do that. And as well, the biggest problem with the vehicle, which I do not understand, is the hatch. I talked about this when I first saw the armor profile of this vehicle on my preview, and Wargaming still has not made it any better. This tank has plenty of weak spots. Hull down, if you just load heat, you can cut right through the turret. It's only 300 thick. That's pretty weak. And the fact that they have this massive, massive hatch on the roof that is only 50 millimeters thick at certain spots, I mean, that's awful. The fact that HE shells can actually penetrate that cupola is just stupid. So yeah, I'm not too excited about that weak spot there. I have a feeling that's going to really suck when I'm actually using the vehicle and trying to test out its armor. It actually seems like this might be a Samwa type vehicle where you'll be better off only showing your hull armor rather than showcasing the vehicle when it's hull down. The side armor on the vehicle is not the best. It's 83. It is spaced, so it means that HE shells are not going to cut through it, which is nice, but it's still not going to be getting many bounces, and the rear armor on the vehicle is classic American, only sitting at around 45 to 47 thick. So overall, the armor on this tank is incredibly good on the upper plate. It's pretty good on the turret, but because of that hatch, we're going to have to see just how quick it manages to fall apart. Alright, enough chit-chat, let's get into some gameplay. I just realized I'm in Gravity Force. Crap! Alright, problem solved. We are no longer in gravity mode. Here we are in our first battle. A pretty decent lineup. We have an Emil 2, Leopard PTA 54E1, and T92E1 against us. That makes 3 very mobile tanks. We have... actually, this is a weird lineup. I mean, they've got heavies as well. They have an Emil 2, they have a 53 TP, and an M6 experimental. I don't love crossing when there's that much mobility, but I'm going to try out this tank's speed. We're going to see how fast it is. What was it, 38 kilometers per hour it had as a top speed. It wasn't awful. Our Skoda T50 going this side of the map might be awful, but I guess we're going to find out. But I do like the fact that this is a very small tank. It allows me to stay kind of undercover when making my way over towards heavy side. But I'm not seeing any heavies crossing here. Well, there we go. Perfect. Alright, so I'm going to make my way all the way up top here. Our Skoda is shooting at the M6, and it looks like he is connecting some shells. Wow, the Skoda got a full clip in. A little surprising, but I'll take any damage my team can get. And there you go. Look at that. Bounce right on the upper plate. You can see it there. That is a perfect example of where the hull armor on this tank is a lot better than the turret armor is probably going to be when you're using it in a lot of situations. For now, I'm going to capture this base. I think that's just a smart idea. So there you go. The Scorpion is dead already, which is honestly pretty impressive, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, Scorpion's a goner. Let's see if we can maybe pull around this corner, make our way towards the Emil 2. Hello, Mr. Emil. Bonk. There you go. Nice slap. I'll take any damage I can get. Looks like the Emil's going to get clipped out by the Skoda. There you go. Long live that player. Now we got the M6 showing me a side armor, so we'll get a pretty easy pen into that as well. Okay, not too bad. We did end up getting penetrated, but doesn't really matter as the M6 is already dead. This game is, it's going a little too fast. I'm going to be real. This is probably one of the fastest battles I've played in a while. I mean, I'll take a win when I can get one, but holy fast. Alright, well, we've got the T92E1 and T54E1 up top of this hill over here. So I'm going to try and help out my T-34 too. There you go. One slap into T-54E1. And let's see if I can make my way over towards here now. Hello, you stinkers. How are you doing? I'm going to get some damage in. There you go. Nice shot into the 54E1 again. You can see the lower plates, easy to penetrate, but you know what? That's pretty expected. So I'm not all too disappointed or anything there when it comes to the armor. All right. Nice shot into the T-92E1 again. And at this point, well, it's not really worth it to shoot that guy. Yeah, especially because he's dead. Ooh, but look at that awful, awful reverse speed. Yeah. All right. Well, at this point, pretty easy victory. I mean, this was literally one of the fastest steamrolls I've seen in a very long time. There's not much you can really do about it, but that's just kind of how Blitz is at some points. Let's see if we can get maybe a shell into the 53 TP. I doubt it. Looks like this guy's going to be shot once. And there you have it, a victory from our side. The first battle, we didn't really get to showcase much about this vehicle. We did get to show where that upper plate gets quite good bounces, but we only got one bounce from the Scorpion, so I can't really say all too much about the armor. We did 2,400 damage, which is honestly not too bad for just how fast that game ended up being, and we actually managed to do top on our team. As I said, that game was just hectic. Nobody knew what they were doing on either side of the team. Our Skoda T50 went heavy side and got away with it because none of their heavies really existed and their mediums fell. I don't know. That whole battle was crazy. I'll take a win when I can get one, but I usually like a battle that actually makes sense. All right, battle number 2. This time we're finding ourselves on Himmelsdorf. This is not the worst map, I will definitely say. I like this, especially because it'll be a good way to showcase the upper plate armor. So, I guess we'll find out. Here we go. We've got the AMX 5120 and as well the IS-8. Now, it looks like our AMX wants to go medium side, and the IS-8's quite a mobile vehicle, so might as well go towards this side of the map as it is. Once again, I actually don't mind the mobility on this tank. It seems pretty okay at that. It's really just going to be the question of how the armor ends up working, especially because we haven't fought any tier 10s. I'm going to stream this tank later today, so if you want to see this tank played on live stream, make sure to stay tuned to the channel. If I don't have the time to stream it today, I'll just stream it tomorrow, but I'm definitely going to be streaming this tank. We can see the aiming time is not amazing on the vehicle, but it's not terrible either. It's good enough that it will get the job done in the majority of situations, it seems like. The only thing I'm a little careful about is they have a Contracaro, it looks like, yeah, all the way in the back there. And I don't really want to be shot by that, but Contracaro missed, which is good for me, so we're going to load in a heat shell, and there you go. Nice slap right into his tank. Contracaro's bounced both of his shells, or just missed, but I kind of expected that. While this vehicle did not have the best armor on its side-scraping potential, it wasn't the worst either, so we got some decent bounces. We got the Centurion 1 right off to the side over here, and he is going to pen me, but maybe not. I was actually expecting him to pen me. But once again, this just looks like to be another incredibly fast steamroll that their team really can't do much about. We got one nice pen into that enemy tank, and there you go. Look at that. Upper plate again. Getting some really, really troll bounces. That was just a skill issue from that guy. But, alright, not too bad so far. They have a VK100 left, and a Waffle, some Avente, and an IS-8. Okay, well, let's see if we can get a shell into the VK100, which seems to be fairly easy. There you go, nice 425 slap. I'm going to play my tank genius here. If you look, I'm hiding my hatch due to the pillar, which means this guy should not have many spots to pen us. Oh, cringe. Oh well. Let's reload again. The DPM on this vehicle, as we said, is not too bad, so I can actually work it pretty well. 3, a 2, a 1, and a fire. Wow, he actually rolled us pretty high with the HE. Alright, let's keep going here. There's a nice clear on the VK100, and now let's see if we can get some damage into the Waffle. Nice, haha. Alright, well, not a bad battle at all. I think I'm going to do actually 3 battles for today's video. I normally only do 2, but I feel like because these games have been so fast, it might actually just be worth it to showcase another game. Now, even though that Waffle might end up shooting me, actually, no, there's no way he's going to. He has 2 dead loaders. I was going to say I'm just going to make my way towards the IS-8 because I want to get out 4,000 damage possibly in this game. So here we are. Here's the IS-8. Nice bonk into his vehicle once. And yeah, I would expect we can get maybe one more shot into his vehicle. Come on. Reload. Reload. 3, 2, 1, and bonk. Alright, not too bad. The WZ was able to get the shell out. I was kind of hoping he wasn't able to, but we did 3,800 damage for the second game. Once again, the armor actually seemed to be pretty decent on the vehicle. I am liking this tank, I gotta be honest. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to fight against tier 10s and skilled opponents, but the fact that the hull is so good on the armor allows me, at least right now, while people are new to the tank, to get a lot of bounces on the upper plate. A lot of people normally think, you know, I'll just shoot a PCR at the upper plate, but as we went over, that upper plate, even on flat ground, is about 320 to 30 thick, and that means if you're loading heat, it's going to be upwards of about 360 to 370, because I'm running enhanced armor. So yeah, I mean, it's a pretty solid upper plate, and I'm actually quite pleased with how the vehicle's performing. Final battle. This is a really solid matchup. We're actually up against a TL-7, which is going to be good. We're going to see how the armor is on that vehicle. Dead Rail is probably my least favorite map, as I say every time we get on this map, but thankfully they don't have the worst tank destroyers to fight. Now, this is a map where you want to use your gun depression, which kind of sucks, because as I went over, I feel like the hull armor is really where the troll part is on this vehicle, not necessarily the gun depression. So I guess we're going to find out how the vehicle performs, hull down. I'm going to make my way straight over to this bush here, and we will see. So let's take a look at what else they have. They have an Action 10, but I'm not worried about that. We got plenty of pen. 360 mils means that anything with decent armor is not going to be much of a problem to deal with here. It's rather going to be just tanks that have a lot of pen. So we did get detected. I'm not exactly sure by what, but yeah, weird. Oh, okay. Well, there it is. We got the Action 10 off to the side. Well, I can't pen him right now because we didn't have the gun depression for that. That's a good example of where the M103 probably would have been able to hit that shell, but because we don't have the gun depression, we couldn't get it off. There's the Action 10 again, and yeah, we just don't have the gun depression for that shot. But our Tornvong does. Pretty good example, though, to showcase where gun depression is incredibly important. And again, we still don't have the gun depression to hit that shot there. But we do know that the TL-7 shot, so good example to see its upper plate armor. And wow, I gotta be honest, that upper plate seems incredibly thick. I mean, we shot at that with heat, and this is 360 mils of heat pen. That was a tricky, tricky pen. Okay, well, I gotta be honest, the armor is incredibly solid looking on the vehicle so far. The hatch, not so much. We just saw that the hatch is a very big weak spot. Unfortunately, we did miss it, but still, that hatch looked to be very weak and very vulnerable, so that's something we are going to have to keep in mind. Let's see if we can get back over this ridge here. Maybe get a... Oh, you know what? There's a WZ. Oh, wow. I can't believe we just got trolled there. We literally hit the only spot we couldn't have penned. Well, that absolutely sucks. Hey, Pop.
Damn, I'm impressed. You're awake.
Yep. Sorry about that, everybody. My grandfather called me. We're going to the park later today, but to be honest, you didn't miss much. I have done literally 0 damage since he called me, so I guess we're just resuming from where I started. Alright, well, we're getting some shots out now. The only thing is, as you can see, the gun depression just isn't enough to work the majority of ridge lines with, but we are getting some shells out now, but I'm surprised that G-Sor isn't shooting me, to be real. If I were that G-Sor, I would be taking full advantage of my vehicle right now. Got that TL-7 again. There you go. Nice slap into his tank. We have finally dealt 1,500 damage in this battle. But, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the gun depression. I will be completely honest. It is very, very poor. Oh, boy. Now the G-Source shooting me. Well, only took him the entire battle to start. That sucks. Okay, well, I'm kind of hoping my teammates start to support me here a bit, because it's not going amazing for me. Alright, well, we got the TL-7 off to the side still. Our Tornvong is somewhat healthy. I mean, our team's not doing bad in this situation. It's really just that G-Sword that I was worried about, and I still am worried about him. That thing's got a nasty, nasty gun. Let's make our way all the way over here. Maybe we can get to the side of this. Ooh, wait a sec. This is, by the way, a good example of where that reverse speed is atrocious on this tank. I mean, it is the worst reverse speed I've ever seen, which is not good. You want good reverse speed for a heavy. But there you go. We get a nice slap into the enemy TL-7, which is good. And even though our prog is dead, we still at least don't have to worry about this TL-7 because we managed to hatch him. Good example of the hatch armor being pretty weak on the tank overall. Now we got the enemy WZ-120 poking over here. Let's see if we can get a shell maybe into his tank. Oh boy, there's the enemy Action 10 bonking me, but I'm not going to worry too much about the Action 10 as we get the clear on the enemy WZ. Okay, not too bad so far. We are getting some shots off. Now, this is not looking great, but you know what? I think we're still going to win this as we have the base cap advantage. So that guy gets cleared, but at this point, I'm not all too worried. The Action 10's over here. Hello, Mr. Action 10. And bonk. Wow. Wow. I cannot believe the game just did that to me. But it's not going to matter. 990 on the base cap, 998. And there you have it. 1,000 on the base capture. I will take a victory when I can get one. So what will I say about the TL-7? I like the tank, actually. I'm surprised to say this because on stats, it looked pretty mediocre. And to be honest, this game was pretty mediocre. It was a good example of where the gun is not amazing. It definitely struggles, but to be fair, the team didn't do pretty well. So I'm not going to say it's a bad tank. I'm actually going to say it's a fairly well-balanced vehicle that's got some weak spots. Even though that hatch is a weakness, I don't think it's the worst weakness ever because of the way the armor is designed. The way that the upper plate is so incredibly thick. We saw when I was aiming down on the TL-7's upper plate, it was still almost red when using heat, and this is with Cali. So I actually like this tank. I think it's a really cool design on the fact that it's got a reverse armor profile, where you would think the weak spot is the whole massive upper plate, but actually it's just the hatch, which is weird. It's the hatch in the lower plate. So I'm giving this tank a solid 8 out of 10 on likability. As I said, I'm going to stream it later today, so this is just my initial first impressions and review on the vehicle for my first 3 battles. We'll see how it performs later in the day, but hopefully enjoy today's video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.